Here's a safari we went on at Animal Kingdom. Enjoy, like, and subscribe.
First animals tricky to spot though, so we'll keep a sharp lookout. See what we can find.
Is that an alligator?
Hey, I see something already.
Oh my God!
Behind the tree, actually, on the right, you can see
Kaden!
a couple of okapi are unusual looking animals. They have stripes like zebras on their legs, but their closest relative is actually the giraffe, not the zebra. You gotta look at their face to tell. It's very giraffe-like. They have a very similar skull structure to a giraffe. Okapi also have a long prehensile tongue, just like a giraffe. Prehensile means it's very muscular. Just make sure to stay seated back there for your safety, guys. Prehensile means it's muscular. They can use it to wrap around tree branches and bring them closer to their mouths. But their tongue can get about 14 inches long. A giraffe's tongue can get 18 to 20 inches long. Watering holes like this one on the left make important gathering places for one of the rarest animals out here, the black rhino. Lately, our black rhino sightings haven't been that good though, because there's not that many left. Black rhinos are an endangered species. There's only about 5,000 remaining in the entire world, so we don't always get to see one. Oh, we're in luck today though. There's one coming up on the left. We'll pull up and do a quick follow.
Hey! He's
Rhinos are
sleep.
big, powerful animals. They can charge at 35 miles per hour,
See?
despite weighing 3,000 pounds. So they're big but fast when they want to be. He doesn't look in the mood right now.
He in that fourth level of sleep.
Black rhinos are usually solitary. Sometimes they'll form small groups called creches around watering holes like that one. Or in the evening though, they're kind of a nighttime socializer, if you will. Coming up on the right, you're going to see these light tan antelope. These are called greater kudus. These are females, and with kudus it's easy to tell because only males have horns. Females do not. Male kudus have the longest set of horns of any antelope though. With beautiful spiral horns that can reach about 6 feet long. Males are usually solitary, but if you look at the animal spotting guide above your head, pictured on the very end is a male kudu if you wanted to see what the horns look like. Now, if you look at the top of the hill to the left, you might spot some bongo. They're kind of hanging out in the bushes, but those are the orange-colored antelope. They're nicknamed the ghost of the forest, because normally they're pretty shy. They're very rarely seen.
What birds
the
are
big
those?
black and white birds. They're saddle-billed storks. Tallest stork in Africa. Stand about 5 feet tall.
I could eat a whole antelope right now.
So it's probably a male and a female mated pair. They mate for life. We're gonna head out of the forest and over towards the Safi River. On the waters of the Safi River, keep a lookout, everybody, for some kiboko. Kiboko is Swahili for Nile hippopotamus. Hippos are one of the largest land animals in the world. You can see a couple in the back corner. Not the best view for everybody. Just make sure to stay seated back there, guys. We'll keep a lookout. See if we can find some more hippos up ahead, though. Hippos typically do travel in big groups called bloats.
Bloats.
Hippos. Let's go see if we can find the rest of the bloats around here somewhere.
Actually, blue bus.
Oh, there they are. They're on the left. And because they're nocturnal, they're most active at night. Hippos typically sleep during the day underwater to stay cool. They can hold their breath up to 8 minutes long. But they have to breathe, so every few minutes you'll see their head come up for air. They take a breath and then they go back down, and they're still sleeping. It's like a subconscious reaction.
What are the white birds?
Constantly wake up. Oh, the birds on the island are
those
big pelicans. Sorry, question?
I was gonna ask a question.
What was the question?
What are those blackbirds called?
The blackbirds are black vultures. They're native to the area.
Oh.
The big grayish white ones are the pink-backed pelicans. During their mating season, their backs will turn a light shade of pink. Now, you don't have to worry about the birds. They're not on the menu. Hippos are herbivores, so they only eat plants.
Yeah.
And I gotta warn you, coming up around the corner, we're gonna cross a very old bridge. This one always makes me a little nervous since it's seen some better days. So we're gonna take it pole very
But
slowly.
you work here.
Swahili. It also kind of sounds like it's seen some better days too. Yeah. A little creaky. But Hakuna Matata, no worries, we made it safely. You never know about those old bridges though. And now we're gonna head on over towards the savannah, which is a different ecosystem from what we've seen so far.
Where is the
Speaking
savannah?
of different, coming up around the corner, we're approaching one of the reserve's ancient baobab
What
trees
ecosystem?
coming into view right now. These massive trees are nicknamed upside down trees. because they kind of look like roots up in the air instead of branches. That's because these trees go leafless for most of the year. About 9 to 10 months out of the year, they're leafless to help conserve water during long periods of droughts. Baobabs can be ancient because they can live for thousands of years. They're pretty common on the reserve. That's just the first of many we'll see out here.
Yeah, we're going to the savannah. That's where the giraffe live, in the desert.
These are the Serengeti grasslands. These grasslands stretch for several hundred miles throughout East Africa. It's like a super highway for millions of migrating animals that pass through here each year, like wildebeest. But more familiar animals live here all year round, like elephants and giraffes. See some giraffe off in the distance. See if we can get a closer look. Giraffes are pretty social animals. I think quite a few of them already, but they live in big groups called towers. A tower of giraffe. We'll see if we get closer to the tower. In the meantime, keep a lookout on the left. Coming up on the left-hand side, we're approaching the territory of a top African carnivore. Something you may or may not have heard of. Recently, we spotted a pack of African wild dogs prowling the area. They're not so much prowling. They are napping coming up on the left in the cave. See if we can get closer. These are also called painted dogs because they have beautiful multicolored coats.
Look.
I think they're kind of cute. But they're actually quite fierce. They're considered one of the most successful hunters of large mammals in Africa, even more than big cats. Because these dogs are very similar to wolves. They relentlessly pursue their prey until it just kind of drops from exhaustion. They look a little exhausted themselves right now, though. It's nap time. Big brown antelope to your left are sable antelope. They're the official symbol or emblem for the reserve. We think they make a good symbol of strength. Instead of running from predators, those antelope will often stand their ground and fight. They're pretty tough. Oh, and the baby giraffe.
No, it's not that hot, Shanti, because it rained twice.
Coming up as well too. The baby's about 7 or 8 months old.
Did he have a baby shower?
But they take a good 3 to 5 years to reach maturity. You see the female munching from the tree as well too. Giraffes spend about 18 to 20 hours of their day eating. Only 30 minutes of a giraffe's day is spent sleeping. Excuse me. Really sleep much. Most of the sleeping they do is in mini naps here and there. A few seconds or a few minutes at a time. I guess that's all they need. The tower is kind of scattered today. You can see a few more giraffe coming up ahead too. The large mounds of earth on both sides of the truck are termite mounds. Termites make them as hard as concrete. Hard enough that elephants will use them as a scratching post sometimes. There's a juvenile giraffe on the right. This one's about 2 years old. But again, they take 3 to 5 years to reach maturity, so still got a little growing left to do. These are called Maasai giraffe. There's actually many different species of giraffe. They all have unique looks to their spots. For instance, Maasai have kind of a messy look to their spots, very jagged, rough edges around their spots, which is typical for the Maasai. But then usually when we think of that giraffe pattern, we're thinking of the reticulated giraffe. They're the ones with the beautiful net-like pattern of spots. We usually see on fabrics and stuff. Got a bunch of animals coming up ahead. You see some little springbok. Oh, I see a baby zebra. And some adult zebras too coming up. Let's see if we get closer. The springbok are these teeny tiny little antelope. They look kind of like babies, but these are fully grown. They just don't get very big. Only about 100 pounds at the most. Imagine how small their babies would be though. Itty baby. But here's the baby zebra coming up on the right hand side over by the tall grasses. And then there's a couple adults as well too. And these are Hartman's mountain zebra. They're usually found up in the mountains, higher elevations than other zebra species.
Is that a yak
about 2 months
over
old.
there?
On the far right, you can also see the gray antelope. Those are wildebeest.
Oh, wildebeest.
After a grunting noise they make. And it's sticking out of the bushes. Oh, there's a few in amongst the trees on the right, too. Those are Nkole cattle. Those massive horns.
Oh, look at their horns.
6 feet long.
You said 6 feet?
Yeah, 6 feet long. They look heavy, but they're not. They're like a honeycomb structure on the inside of the horn. So they're not as heavy as they look. Another zebra on the ridge there. A group of zebras is called a dazzle.
Dazzle.
Coming up around the corner here, you can see some knockdown trees. That's a good sign of elephants. Elephants will knock down trees in order to eat them. Good for the environment in a way. let the grasses spread more. So I'll keep a lookout
You
for
see the
elephant
elephant
see if we can find
knock
any.
your tree down.
Oh, actually, I think I see one straight ahead.
Yeah.
See if we can get a better view. This is a juvenile male. He's only about 10 to 12 years old. And that's actually really young for an elephant. They take about 13
Look at the
to 15
monkeys
years
with the
to
red
reach
butts.
maturity. And on the left, you'll also see some mandrills. You got this little elephant to your right, and then the mandrills, which are a type of monkey, on the left-hand side as well. Most of the mandrills have their backs to us. It's a typical primate thing that staring is considered a sign of aggression for most primates. But if you do get to see their faces, they have brilliant red and blue markings.
Stop making those stupid noises.
Yeah, makes them one of the most
Because I'ma
colorful
slap you
monkeys.
if you don't.
Rafiki from The Lion King was a mandrill. Another way to tell that this is a male elephant is because he's all by himself. Males are usually solitary as adults. But he's still pretty young, so he might still be close to a female herd. We'll keep an eye out and see if we can find some more. Female African elephants are usually the ones that you see traveling in big herds with other females and their calves. They're going to form what's called a matriarchy. Matriarchies are when the ladies are in charge. With elephants, it's often the oldest and the most experienced female that's in charge of the herd too, kind of like grandma being in charge. But I mean, there's lots of things to like about elephants, but one of my favorite things is that they seem to value wisdom over strength. Alright, we're gonna head over towards the red clay pits.
Wisdom over
Another old
strength.
bridge to cross first. This one's given us a tiny bit of trouble in the past, but lately it's been holding up pretty good. Luckily today is no exception to that. We're heading over towards the red clay pits. Elephants eat small amounts of clay since it's full of nutrients and minerals that they don't find in their normal diets of plants. So in a way, eating a little bit of clay is kind of like taking a daily vitamin for an elephant. You're going to see some tusk marks and footprints down in the clay, so it looks like elephants have been through recently. Let's go see if they're still hanging out in the area. Scientists on the reserve have been studying elephant vocalizations here too. We're hoping that the more we understand about how they talk to each other, the better able we can protect them from threats like poaching.
I don't think I want to come out
One
here at
thing we
night.
learned from these
Keisha.
studies is that elephants are afraid of bees. Yeah, they don't like bees, so they actively avoid areas of bees.
I need to
We can
see
use
what
this
I'm
information to
seeing.
help protect them. Some African countries, elephants have been known to rape like farmers' crops. Farmers don't like that. They're going to defend their crops. But scientists have been working with the farmers to help them develop kind of like a beehive fence to put around their crops. So far, these have been doing a great job at keeping elephants out of the croplands, which keeps them safe. It's called the Elephants and Bees Project. It's actually started right here at the park, too. Not seeing any elephants right now, though, but we'll keep a
Why
lookout
are
up
these
ahead.
tree trunks so big?
You see the wildebeest sticking out towards the right. Wildebeest are also called newt after a grunting noise they make. They don't really move their newt. Spelled G-N-U, commonly mispronounced GNU, but the G is actually silent though. Here's one of the elephant's favorite watering holes coming up on the left. Despite their size, elephants are excellent swimmers. They love to play in the water in really hot
We gotta
days.
drive through the water.
I guess they don't think it's hot enough right now though. Maybe later. Coming up ahead, you might be able to spot some greater flamingo coming up.
Hey,
on the left.
flamingo!
Greater flamingo have the lightest pink color of all flamingo species. And you're going to see lots of little gray puffballs, some flamingo chicks that hatched pretty recently down below. They had a pretty successful hatching season, at least 24 eggs.
Look at the little
and
babies.
some of them are still about to hatch. You can see some of the flamingos laying on mounds of mud. That's a flamingo nest. It's just a mound of mud. They'll lay a single egg on top. Hatches after about a month or so. But the little ones are gray when they first hatch because they haven't had any keratin in their diet. This is a vitamin found in their diet of brine shrimp. So it's thought to turn their feathers pink. It just takes a little while. It takes about 1 to 2 years before they're fully pink. Kind of a slow process. Some of the flamingos from last year's hatching season you can still see haven't turned fully pink. The ones that look kind of dirty, especially around the neck and feathers, that's actually, they just haven't turned fully pink yet because their feathers eventually turn white and then slowly turn pink. So kind of keep some of that gray for a little bit as well. So earlier we saw a black rhino. Let's keep a lookout for their larger cousin, the white rhino, entering their territory. Our wardens keep a lookout for poachers from the platform on the left. Sadly, it looks like they might have confiscated some tusks and horns, but hopefully that means they caught some poachers. Poaching is illegal hunting, and it's still a big problem in Africa, but luckily our animals are well protected. Not seeing any white rhinos just yet, but it's a big territory. They can be anywhere.
You should have went to bed last night.
Yeah, you can see some evidence of rhinos in the area. There's a great big mud pit coming up on the left. Something big's been turning that up. Rhinos love to bathe in the mud. Helps protect their skin from sunburns and parasites. I see some movement on the hillside up ahead. I think I saw a cheetah. Cheetahs reach those high speeds.
You saying, ooh, like,
In the corner, yeah. They reach those high speeds of over 60 miles per hour. She's coming into better
See the
view
cheetah?
here. But they can only maintain that high speed for a few hundred yards because they're sprinters. They're not long distance runners. So cheetahs really do have to catch their prey fast. They often lose it otherwise because it takes a lot of energy to reach those high speeds. See a couple more in the back left corner too. So we found a coalition. A group of cheetahs is called a
well,
coalition.
how fast can this bus go?
How fast can they go?
No, this bus.
Oh, this bus? 8 miles per hour.
Oh, no, that's out. We on the wrong bus.
It's okay. Cheetahs are not particularly aggressive. They're usually going after small prey like...
That's what you say till they eat you.
And then you can see another cheetah on the left-hand side as well, too. And usually they're solitary, but sometimes you'll find these groups called coalitions. Coalitions are often made up of siblings. So if I had to take a guess, I'd say they're probably siblings. Coming up around the corner, too, we're approaching a large rock formation called a kopje. Kopjes are big rocks that jut out above the savanna. They make excellent vantage points for animals to look out for predators or prey from, depending on the animal. Right now, the kopjes look a little quiet, though. Not seeing much up there. We'll move on and see what else we can find. Oh, there's some white rhinos on the right. Hi there.
Oh.
The white rhinoceros are very social. They travel in these big groups, these big crashes.
It's a little close.
They don't look very white. They're not actually named
Oh,
for their
shit.
color. The name white is a mispronunciation of an Afrikaans word, weit, which means wide. Refers to their wide mouths. Look, there's a baby one coming up. With mama.
Yeah, I was about. Don't go that way.
That one's about 8 months old. Yeah, about 8 months now. And luckily for mom, the babies are born without their horn. Liz is starting to grow in, though it's a little nub. But it does grow continuously throughout their life. It can grow as much as 6 inches every year. The horn is made out of keratin. Keratin is the same fibrous protein found in human hair and fingernails. Still not seeing much on the cookies, so we'll continue on and see what
He
else
really
we can
falling
find.
asleep.
I do see some warthog burrows coming up ahead of us on the left. So we'll keep a lookout for warthogs.
You should be a warthog too.
Like sharp tusks for defense against predators. Oh yeah, I see one up on the hill. Kind of in the back by the rock wall. Taking a little nap. If you ever see a warthog go into a burrow, they're going backwards, keeps the tusk pointing outwards for defense against predators. They actually have 2 sets of tusks. They have a top really big
don't
curved
see 'em.
set that they use more for digging. There's one in the very last burrow down below too. And then they have a sharp lower set that they actually use for defense against predators too.
Oh, you're
Maybe
unbelievable.
you can see the white rhino mom and baby again. See if they're still around.
We don't need to see them again because she might get
There's
us.
a back end, you know. And then you can see a little brown antelope over by the warden's vehicle called a banta bak. Sometimes in the right light, they've been known to have a pretty purple color to their coats. And then you can also see some ostrich eggs down below.
Hey,
Well,
ostrich
don't usually stray far from the
eggs.
nest, but they'll leave to forage for food, so maybe that's what they're doing. But at the same time, they don't always have to be right by the eggs. Not too much can hurt an ostrich egg. A human being could stand on top of one and you probably wouldn't crack it. They're pretty strong.
They not
But
about
if
to
you think
eat
about it,
me.
they have to support the weight of an adult ostrich. Males can weigh over 300 pounds. Females can weigh over 200 pounds. And they'll both sit on the eggs, so they have to be pretty strong. coming up on the Magadi Glen. You can see Warden's outpost up ahead. Recently, the Wardens have been taking care of a herd of some Nigerian dwarf goats. Which are awfully cute little goats. I actually see some on top of the building too. Because if you wandered around the yard, it's a while. Nigerian dwarf goats are a small type of goat, but these are actually fully grown. They just don't get very big. And being able to take care of domesticated species like goats and cows has its benefits. For one thing, it means the locals don't have to take resources from wild animals in their habitats quite as much. Goats are good for another reason too, though. They eat practically anything.
Curry goat.
And that includes really tough vegetation. And
That's what they're good
weeds
for.
that other animals
Yo,
won't
look, it's Tom
touch.
Brady.
The goats can help improve the health of an ecosystem by clearing out a lot of that tough vegetation. They're mostly used for their milk, which is very nutritious. Apparently, goat's milk is a lot better for you than cow's milk. It has a higher protein content and a lower fat content as well too. We've been pretty lucky. We've seen some very cool, very close animals on the reserve today at times. Here on the reserve, we're working on a few ways to help protect a lot of the animals we've seen. One thing we're doing is promoting the recycling of cell phones. Cell phones contain a metallic ore called coltan, which is mined pretty heavily in Central Africa. Coltan mining causes a lot of the habitat loss and overhunting that goes on in Central Africa today. But one easy way to help out, if you have any old or broken electronics, like cell phones, just laying around the house collecting dust, you can actually take these and recycle them. A lot of electronic stores have places to recycle old electronics. And it really does help out African wildlife. It helps to reduce the need to mine for more coltan in the wild. Alright, well sadly I guess we've reached the end of our safari. A little sad, but your adventure doesn't have to end here. If you want to continue your safari on foot, you might want to go check out Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. It's a little walking tour that's located at the top of the hill to your right when you exit. And it's home to gorillas, colobus monkeys, meerkats, naked mole rats, zebras, and an underwater view of hippos as well too. And that trail usually only takes 15 to 20 minutes to walk on average, but it's self-guided if you just want to take your time. Wheelchair accessible as well.
Didn't we do that one already?
Now, folks, I'll be dropping you off at the Warden's Post that we first started at. So that way, if you left any scooters or wheelchairs behind, they'll be waiting for you when you get back. It just takes us a couple of extra minutes to get back.
What is she doing? This one.
So this is not our